Alright guys, Monday, April 27th, back in the garage, and we're on the 60 TR3A. Sorry I started without you. We've got the car up on jack stands, and I've just taken the tires off. Oh, almost taken the tires off. I've got the lugs off to this side, and we've taken the tires off of the driver's side. So, got the car safely up on stands. We've got 6 stands under the car, and we've kept the 2 jacks under there as well as safeties. So yeah, I was watching Bruce Boschek sort of roll around on the ground doing the same thing with his getting his Yazoo mower up and running, which is actually older than this car. I think his mower is a 56. This is a 60. So it doesn't get any easier for sure getting under the car and placing jack stands and working under the car. So good on you, Bruce. Good to see you doing that work. I know it's hard work. Anyway, we're going to pull the tires off the other side like I mentioned, and I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these calipers off, which are incorrect for this car, and we're going to put those calipers on. We're also going to check the bearings in the front, check the grease seals, that kind of thing. Then we're probably going to do the rear axle end float test with the dial indicator. So I think those are the first 2 things I want to do to get those checked off the list. So we'll get to it. Alright guys, we'll come back. Alright guys, here's the brake rotors off the front, and I've got the calipers just sitting over there. And as you can see, or maybe you don't see this, but the felt is actually on the wrong way. It should be facing out from the hub towards the vertical link, not the other way around. So we're going to pop that out, flip it over. Hopefully the seal or the felt's still okay. And we'll refit it. Alright guys, just a quick update. So the driver's side is done. We've got the rotor back on and the hub back on. So we made sure all the torque is good on all the nuts and bolts. We make sure that everything that needs a cotter pin has a cotter pin. So we're good there. So what we're doing now is we're just working on transferring out those brakes. So I've got the other brakes here, and we're going to do some new pads here for them. So got a new set of pads. Get that out of that. So once those are done, we'll slap those on, and we'll move on to the passenger side. Alright guys. Alright guys, quick look at the new brakes on the rusty rotors. So it looks pretty good. We've got the stainless steel brake lines in there installed. Everything is cotter pin torqued and good to go. It's amazing how dusty it is under there, considering I've never even driven this car. So the only thing I want to do now is I just want to do a check. Let me just hang this trouble light up. Just want to do a check with the wheels on to make sure I've got no interference with brake lines. And in one particular case, I've got a brake line in the back here near the brake pressure switch. I want to make sure that doesn't hit the rim or the tire on full lock. So we're going to do a quick test. We'll get under the car and check it out. But other than that, I think what we can do is we can probably check mark the first thing off. So front brake caliper exchange, that's done. Hub grease seals inspection, that's done. And I think that's it for now. I did some checks on fasteners, but we'll redo that. I'm still not sure about a binding issue, so we'll have to continue on with that. But yeah, so that's one thing off the list, or 2 things off the list, and we'll continue on. Alright guys, that's it for tonight. I'm tired. So we're going in. Good to get a couple items scratched off the list. What we'll do tomorrow is we'll do item number 3 here, which is the rear axle end float. I've already got the rear wheels off the car, so we'll get the drums off and we'll proceed from there. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. I forgot, I did get under the car and I did a lock-to-lock check on both sides to make sure there's no interference with anything as far as the wheel is concerned. So all is good. So that check is complete as well, and still haven't really seen anything that could contribute to my binding issue. But anyway, that's good to go. And like I said, we'll move on to the rear of the car tomorrow. Have a good night. Hey, good evening, guys. Tush coming at you. Nice afternoon, evening out here tonight. So we got the garage doors open. That's quite nice. So we're back on the 60 TR3A tonight, and we're just working on the rear axle end float. So we're going to set that up and see what kind of float we have at the moment. I'm sure it's not to spec, so we'll be taking the axles out and putting some shims in. Anyway, got the ball game on, and we're going to enjoy our night out here. Sorry about the quality of the preceding videos. A little dark in the garage last night, and it's pretty dark filming in the wheel well, so it's not real easy to see. And with the windows here and the backlighting, it just doesn't make it conducive to doing good videos. So anyway, hopefully this will be a little bit better tonight. Anyway, we'll come back when we make some progress. Right, guys, we're just reading up in the manual about the checking axle shaft end float. And the specified axle shaft end float is 0.004 to 0.006. This can be checked by mounting a dial indicator, as shown in the photo. Moving the hub towards and away from the axle casing, the dial indicator will then record the axle end shaft float. So I've tried to pull the axle in and out of the tube, and it's not budging, so I think I've got like a 0 end float. So I'm going to take the axle out and put some shims in, and we'll then take some measurements. This is going to be a very long process. As you can see, there's safeties on all the bolts down here that I need to get off. I've got one off so far, so I have to pound all these up. I've started on it and just gone to get a longer screwdriver, but that makes this a real challenge. There's not much space to work in here, and this brake line's in the way, so the brake line has to come off. I've already taken the emergency brake cable off. Anyway, it's a lot of work to get this brake back plate off, so make sure you got your shims in when you do the original assembly. Guys, we've got the brake back plate off. And there's the axle tube, and I can tell you that I had 2 shims in there, so obviously they're not enough, so we're going to get a couple more shims. We're going to have to reinstall, we'll check the end float, and then we'll have to move to the other side. Alright, that's it for now. Alright guys, just coming up to 9 o'clock, and we've got the driver's side and the passenger side axles out. Trust me, that's not a job I wish on anyone. Total pain in the butt. Really, really hard on the back. Not much room to work with. I know that trouble light's probably going to give some issues with the camera. Anyway, it's out. So on the driver's side, we also had 2 shims, as you can see here. Now I do have an extra bunch of shims actually from my parts car, so we'll play around with those a little bit. And apparently we need to make sure that there's sort of equal amount of shims on each side. It does say in here somewhere, to ensure centralization of the thrust block with the cross pin, the shim packs behind both backing plates will be approximately of equal thickness. So I think what I'm going to do maybe is pick up some calipers so I can measure the thickness of those shims to make sure that they're approximately equal on either side. I don't know if I can eyeball it or not. I haven't pulled that bag of shims apart yet to see what I've got in there. So anyway, that's it for tonight for me. I'm knackered and going to go in and take a break and have a little rest. Maybe we'll upload this, just see where I am at. It's been 2 days basically. Not much progress unfortunately, but we'll upload this just so you can see where I'm at, and we will get out here again tomorrow after work. Alright guys, have a good night.